Hello, this is Max Drake. I just want to do this demonstration here. So,
ready to scan plant ID. B. O. Plant ID, BAS4, condition OK, height 160.
Good. So we can do another one.
Ready to scan plant ID. B. W. Plant ID, BN1, condition wilted, height 180.
Now on that one there, it's actually jumping through. It's actually supposed to read the variable all the way through. And on this particular computer, it seems to be going very fast. Yet when I was actually running on another one, it was running it's fine. I was actually getting each item as it went into the right area. The plant ID was being read, not just B. It was actually reading BAS4 or whatever. The other little thing I just want to comment on was yesterday I was talking about the basil plant, and when I actually looked at the video later, I saw that it was invisible, so I'm actually growing invisible plants. In fact, it's a green screen behind, and because that screen is filtered out the colour, so I was quite amused by that. Anyway, coming back to this one here, I just want to step back a couple of things. My daughter's got a little bit of a hearing problem. And I was talking about the different frequencies when and I was demonstrating this particular app to her, and she thought it was quite a good idea. And she said, it'd be really good if you can actually read the names off so that you can actually hear what's being said. And I was thinking, well, yeah, okay then. And then I was looking at the sound, play the WAV file one, and then create WAV files for all of that. But then I actually thought I'd actually come across this other program here. So I'm just going to go into here and open it up. And this is, and I double click on it here, and I'm just going to go into settings, but I'm not going to run it because it can be a little bit temperamental. So I'm just going to go into the settings on this one, and if we look on here, it's an OCR language. So it's taken the image and it's pulling out the text. Now you can actually have a whole load of different languages, and there's a lot of other things. It's a pretty cool program. But right at the end, it does a text-to-speech, enable text-to-speech, and I was suddenly thinking, oh, well, if this program can do it, which is an AutoHotKey program, why can't I? Now, it's a little bit buggy with OBS going, so I'm not actually going to run it, but I'll just highlight that. So I'm just going to exit that one now. But if I took a screenshot of that, and I'd use the hotkeys for the W tab that I've got through there, if I grab that BAS4, it would actually read that BAS4 out. So I suddenly thought, well, okay, then if that's happened, there must be some information on that. So I found in the AutoHotKeys thing, there's a forum, and I'll give a link to this forum point through here, that talks about somebody who, it's been developed before, but they got to a point here and he created a class out of it. And so this is Evil C who's done all of this. So he's created this one, he shared it around and stuff like that, so you can actually just go in there, select that one, and then copy and paste it. So I copied and pasted that into one called, if I come, speech to text come through here, and I just want to go through. So I copied it through, I tested it out, and if you go to the very top of it, it's got 3 hotkeys. It starts F1, F2, and F3. I've just remapped them because I use it. So it creates a new instance of that class, which is, this is the class through here, the class TTS, creates a new instance of that class, and then it does anything inside this speak, it'll speak. Now this one's actually saying select some text through there, or if you just select some text or highlight some text, it goes and puts it into the clipboard and then it reads it. So it's got that, and that's how that one runs. So instead of reading the clipboard or getting this GST, which gets selected text, I'm actually just reading some text, or I'm reading an actual variable. So because the code's not that long, like this one here is about 170 or whatever with all the brackets and the stuff like that, I actually added it into my one at the very bottom. So I add the class in at the bottom. So that's the actual program itself, and then I've just added the class. So this one, which was about 90 or 100 lines long, suddenly goes out to 260 lines, but that's fine, it's still pretty lightweight. But it's got everything packaged up there. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to make a new global variable. So it's got to be outside the actual program itself, and so you're creating a new instance, and then you just call it s.speak, and then I've just put in quotes, ready to scan plant ID. So it's doing 2 things. One, it's actually saying I'm open, and now it's saying, give me the plant ID. So it's giving you a specific thing like that. And then the next one, it's supposed to go through and read things one. Now, it does read the whole thing on the other one, but it doesn't on this computer. And I'm not changing the code at the moment because I'm going to put it onto an older computer, and I'll see whether it needs it. If it still needs something, then I'll persist with it. Now, because it actually just reads the thing so fast, so it's only reading the first letter and not the line, not the actual code itself. It's not reading the BAS1, the BAS2, and all of those sorts of things. What I've decided to do instead of that is I just put right at the end, so blast. After the scan's been done, I've got this string called, or this variable called info speak, which reads the plant ID, or says plant ID, and then gives the plant ID the condition, then the condition through there, then the height, and then the height through there, and then I get it to speak it at the very end. So it's already gone into the program by then. The other one is that you can do a little bit of an error correct. But I was thinking about how you'd actually do an error correct on these things. So when I thought about it, the way I'm just going to pop this up, which is I've got it in Notepad++, and it says, look, some new information is out there. Do you want to update this file? And I go, yes. Now, if you open this CSV, I'm got a CSV file because I just want it so that I can actually do some stuff in Excel or something later on. So if you open this in Excel, when you do another scan through, Excel won't let you update that file. It's grabbed that file and it doesn't let anything happen from the external, whereas Notepad++ will. So if you're actually just watching the data going into your file, you can actually see it live through here, which is handy. Now, what happens when you do an error, like you end up doing two scans of plant ID instead of a plant ID and a condition, so that you know you've got dud information in there. So you could go back into this file, go and find it. So where you were doing the scanning out around the plants and things like that, you've got to come back to this file and delete that line. Well, in fact, what I was thinking about doing is instead of doing that, we just do a demonstration of that one. So I just go into here, I hit
Ready to scan plant ID.
and let's just do do a one, and then
Plant ID on 1. Condition on 1. Height wilted.
so it's put the wrong data in. I've ended up putting two plant IDs, and I've not got round to the height. So I know I've got some dud things. So what you can actually do is that you can actually just put in something as a flag to say that the line above is corrupted, and quickly just do something and then go on. Now, at this point in time, I've only got simple little QR code down here with one. I'd most probably create another QR code called error, or error 1, error 2, error. I think I just use it because you just scan the thing. So knowing that, so rather than having to go and find the file or do anything of that, you just go into the B, start again.
Ready to scan plant ID. 1. Plant ID 1. Condition 1. Height 1.
So you can actually just go through and do a search. Now, 1 might not be a good thing. You might actually want to have something like XV or some obscure thing so that you can actually quickly just go and do a search, which is find. And then you find 1. Well, of course, 1 will be all over the place on this one here. But if you've actually got something dud, you can actually find that and just delete the line above it. And then you know that you've got clean data through there. So it saves you breaking out of your process to come back and do an edit. You can just suddenly say, there's corrupted data in there. And then at any point, you can actually just go through and do a fix through that. So I hope that's been of interest to you. I'm really pleased. It's such a great idea to be able to have that text-to-speech thing. And so thank you for whoever did the capture to text, to actually lead me onto that idea, the suggestion from my daughter on that. And I've actually hoped that it's something convenient. And it's great because you're actually getting the information that you want in of what's actually been created. So I'll put the links through to all of these ones into the end of the video. Comment below. And if you found it useful, please give a thumbs up. Elsewise, up on your heart.